Hi there. Welcome back to Tarot by Janine. How's everybody doing? I'm doing good. We have to look at a certain CEO was rounded up from a very large company. Starts with a P. You know what I'm talking about. So that rumor's going around. And I'm wondering if, first of all, it's true that he actually got charged apparently with telling fibs about the usefulness of this thing and the side effects. So how do you like that? So you'll have to look around for that story. It's not that hard to find. I'm wondering, is that true? And if he was rounded up, is he actually going to the spa? Or is it going to be what the public sector would consider sort of the justice system in the US? Or is it that secret tribunal system? What system is he going to be tried under? Like, are we going to see that publicly, or is that going to be under wraps? So we're going to look around that. And then we're going to look at what is the next move of the White Hats. When can we make this a wrap? We saw that it was a breakthrough November. So there's going to be a breakthrough, but that doesn't mean a complete wrap, right? A complete wrap is different than a breakthrough. So I want to know, when do we wrap this up? But we'll start with, when's the next move and when's the estimated wrap up? Like, is that years in the future? Are we talking before the end of the year? Like, what are we looking at? Now, I'm not going to name exact dates, of course, but we're just going to get a feel for what the cards are thinking it is here. What are the cards saying about it? Okay, so we're going to look at the next move, and then we're going to look at any counter moves left by the black hats and or the dark hats, the bad guys, any counter moves that we can expect. But first, we want to look at this CEO fellow being rounded up for telling fibs about what this thing does, what's in it, and not telling people what the side effects all could be. Okay, so that would be brilliant if that was true. Very interesting. Okay, so the person we're talking about, the CEO that apparently was rounded up, head of a really large, infamous, we've got the Star and the Two of Wands. That feels like in a safe place, and the whole story was a strategic move, and he was in on it. So if he did get rounded up, he agreed to it. He's already agreed to something in the past. So maybe he's agreed to letting himself look like he got rounded up. He's made some kind of an agreement in the past that led to the situation that appears, it feels like they're going to have him in hiding. He's gone into hiding, and I'm thinking he's been working for the good guys for some time. Okay, how do you like that? So he agreed to have this visual of him being rounded up for that, what he was rounded up for, apparently. But this is all part of the movie, you guys. None of this looks real here. This looks like it was a planned operation, and he's in on the plan. Now, remember when Mr. T went to all of the companies that were pushing out, warp speed, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, he went and talked to those guys, and I think they struck some deals. Because, of course, the White Hats and the Alliance would have had all of the intel on what the plan was. So the Dark Hat plan, that was stepped back and changed at that point, or even before that. And they made a real show of Mr. T going around to these leaders of these companies, these heads of the companies. Okay, so they struck a deal at that point, it looks like. He's part of the movie. He's agreed to this. So technically, he wouldn't have been literally rounded up. This was part of a play to appear a certain way, not just to normies, to everybody, but also maybe a signal to the bad guys, right? But he's in on it. He's in on the play. Wow, very interesting. So now let's look at what's the next move of the Alliance. We definitely have the breakthrough card coming up again, and we've got a big ace. So it's going to involve some kind of, I want to say the word intense heat. I want to say intense heat or fire. The breakthroughs are all around the party substance. Okay, so we know that there was, or we've been hearing that there was a big takedown on one of those big tanker ships. What do they call them? Container ships. That's the word I'm looking for. So there was a takedown, and Navy SEALs apparently, and so I believe white hat Navy SEALs. Okay, and so you better believe they were likely headed for some kind of party substance operation. Okay, so I feel like this, we're going to see more of this. We're going to see more and more of this. So their next big moves are really in the open takedowns of operations like that. That looks like their next move. And we've still got the breakthrough card. So one of them's going to really hit the mainstream media, it looks like. And let me tell you, that Navy SEALs operation was close to being a mainstream media news story. I mean, it came really close. Okay, so that's interesting. Let's have a look at when's the wrap up. What's the projected, according to the white hats? What are they thinking? How much longer do they need to get to the big wrap here? So we can have a wrap party on the movie. I know there's a lot of drama in between. Yeah, especially if you're listening to Juan 07. I mean, he's foretelling of the pain just got started. Like, we're not even in the eye of the storm yet and stuff. It's like, oh my goodness. Okay, so I guess the breakthrough is the start of the painful parts that lead to the good parts. But it's like, oh my goodness. We're going to need each other, you guys. We're going to need to stick together and not get at each other's throats. Like I've been saying. So many truthers throwing each other under the bus. I'm just not going to be a party to it. Okay, so let's have a look at when can we see the big wrap? Okay, let's have a look. Well, it's their desire and wish. The desire and wish. Okay, I would say January is their projected date of a really big wrap up. So they figure they'll have everything kind of wrapped up, at least in the movie, by January. But it feels like the breakthrough's still planned, and they're actually feeling pretty confident here. Okay, but then right in the middle, there's a whole bunch of messy stuff that got uncovered that they weren't expecting, it looks like. So there's some dysfunctional, messy stuff that got uncovered as they were going along here. I'm not sure what that would be. They're dealing with a whole bunch of messy, like it's almost like tidying up loose ends. It's almost like there's all of these little fires to put out all over the place. So I'm not sure exactly what that's talking about, but that's sort of taken a lot of time. We've got the King of Cups. Yeah, and this King of Cups feels like there's a whole lot of info and disinformation getting thrown around fast and furious and incredibly heavy-handedly. And I've been getting a whole lot of emails that just of ridiculous stories that I check into, and they make absolutely no sense and they don't go anywhere. So you can expect a whole lot of mudslinging right now and incredible, like stories that'll just like squirrel take you right over here and try to completely take you off track. So try to stay focused in the basic understanding of what you understand to be happening. Okay, whatever that is. And stay grounded and focused, and maybe don't go, because when somebody comes right out of the blue or some information comes right out of the blue, you have no idea where, you don't see it literally coming from a legit spot. Okay. You stay away from it. You know what I mean? Try to stick to, your intuitive knowing about things, because there's going to be a whole lot of mudslinging. Like I said, it's almost like holding things up. That's what it feels like, because they're putting out all these fires. Okay. So we've got the Queen of Swords. So really big arrests. We know they've already been going on. One literally just got as good as leaked to the press and they almost told about it. Okay. So, that one almost came out, the one I talked about at the beginning of this video. So I'm thinking a whole lot more of that. So a whole domino effect of people literally being known to be arrested, even for actual crimes that they committed and not for bogus crimes. Because I've found that over the last couple of years, a lot of CEOs of companies stepped down, were rounded up, all kinds of things, but sometimes for what appeared to be, I thought, bogus reasons and not actually what they were up to. We're starting to see real stories about really why they would get rounded up. Everything's just getting, by degrees, more in focus. Okay. And I think they're doing this on purpose, with the help of wise ancient beings that are helping. Okay. Talking about the white hats now. They're doing this on purpose to prepare people and do as little damage to their psyches. And we're talking about normies that don't know any of this yet, right? This is sinking in slowly, and they're getting there's this whole level of information that they're probably absorbing without even consciously knowing it. So then when things actually come out, they will have an unconscious knowing that that's true. So it doesn't just come out of left field. So that's my belief. And I can see that that's what they're doing. So I'm going to say we wrap this movie by January, or that's the plan. But there's going to be some, like I said, big breakthroughs. So those dominoes falling this month, and that'll really help. The breakthroughs will really help everybody's morale because, it's pretty low amongst the truthers from what I can gather. Or it kind of goes hot and cold. It blows hot and cold. Okay, we wanted to look at the black hats. What is the black hats what are they going to sling at us besides a serious amount of stories? In particular, I feel like they're really trying to throw some really big wrench in people's confidence there. Okay, so be aware of that's obviously what's happening. Okay, and use your discernment and your intuition and your gut feelings about these stories that you hear. Okay, so let's have a look at what can we expect from the black hats next. Yikes. Wow, these guys are really taking a beating here. You'll be glad to know. Have a look at these cards. Okay, I feel like that latest Navy SEALs sort of operation, so that white hat op, people were all talking about the last week, that went on to one of those big container ships and rescued a whole bunch of humans. Some of them were not rescued, unfortunately. They had passed over already. I feel like that really, really hurt their industry, okay, because they've been hurting and they don't have their party substance. All kinds of evidence of that all over the place. Just look at Hollywood. Yikes, look on the faces, literally, of Hollywood. Unless you're actually looking at a double or a clone, they're looking pretty rough, okay? It looks like that really, really hurt. They got barely a move here. All they got's that mudslinging, it looks like. That's all they got, you guys. All they got is swords, thoughts and words to hurt. So coming between. So they're going to put all of their efforts into trying to get everybody to look at Mr. T in a negative light, all kinds of old stuff circulating. We already went through, we already got that, right? So they're going to bring up everything they got there. They're going to try to pit or let you believe or have you believe that the white hats are pitted against each other, the alliance. I've been discovering, if you go to Sending Ravens with Tarot by Janine, I did a big look at the latest big gossipy stories around that, and not true. It looks like, they're beat here, you guys. All they got left is like gossip and innuendo. Of course, they're going to do their absolute best with that. And I really, in the last week, I've seen it nonstop evidence of that. It's just unbelievable. It's almost laughable how obvious it is too. So pay attention and try not to get caught up in the drama. Okay, visualize a breakthrough. We don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but we got a breakthrough November on our hands. So let's visualize breaking through and really getting this ship turned around. Okay, and looks like a wrap in January. Let's hope that's sooner. I'll take it at this point, though. Just let's get this thing over with. Thank you so much for watching my video. And do like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already.